Peace and blessings, family. It's Brother IJ Taimba, your empowerment coach. Welcome to the WUCUSU Lounge. Family, I'm excited because this is our 5th consecutive episode. There's something to be said for strength and speed and intelligence and attractiveness, and there's something mighty to be said about consistency. You don't have to be super special, super cute, or super rich to be consistent. You just have to have willpower. So we're grateful to the Most High for being able to do this for 5 consecutive sessions. We're planned out to do this all the way up until December 8th, at which point I'm going to take by then probably a much needed break for the Kwanzaa holiday and get ready for the new year in January. We are so excited. I'm so excited to be here, family, because this is an opportunity for me to say, express, communicate what's on my mind and heart to people who give a damn about it. This is the beauty of social media. You can find a niche, kind of like when back in the days, you can go to a newspaper stand and they had all these magazines, and you found a magazine that related to you. Your uncle liked the photography magazine, that didn't appeal to you. You liked sports, that didn't appeal to your sister. She wanted that, but it was something for everybody. And that's with all of the mess, and the complications and the negativity that comes with social media, that is in fact one of the blessings, that it gives people some degree of choice. And family, trust and know, regardless of who you are, your gender, your race, your income level, your education level, where you're from, where you want to go, your hobbies and interests, there is something on here for you. You just got to find it. Trust it and know it. Believe me when I tell you. So, family, as you know, WUCUSU Lounge, we've been every week, Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we've been kind of going through a number of very important things as it relates to edifying ourselves. I look at, I pay close attention to news. When I go outside, I pay close attention to what I see. I pay close attention to what I hear. And I notice that in this society, we spend great time repairing things, shoes, homes. We put a lot of time into that, and we should. You should want to make sure you live and what you wear looks good. You don't want to go out here looking crazy, right? But what I hope this show helps to do is make a convincing argument that one of the greatest projects that you can, or journeys you can embark on, one of the greatest fix-me-up projects, do-it-yourself projects, is literally rescuing and reclaiming the beauty and majesty of yourself, so that nothing outside is the prize. We've been lied to, family, as Brother Malcolm said. Bamboozled, led us astray, run amok. It ain't nothing out there, family. You are the prize. And once we get our young people to understand that, you're going to see difference in them. And once we understand that, you're going to see a different way we move. We're not chasing nothing. We ain't salivating after nothing. We're the prize. And not in a seductive or a small way, meaning that we represent the light of the Most High, right? And so we don't walk around here heads bowed, back bent, and I think I can, I'm going to try, we'll see. No, how would God say it? Let there be light and there's light. And that's how we say it. We speak divine utterance and we make it happen, right? So, family, with that said, I want to thank the people who are here. I see my Queen Bee, Brenda Hilaire. Let me say this too. Not many people here live yet, but I know quite a few will watch the recorded version. So let me give the Queen a little shout out for her 58th birthday. It has passed. It's been about 3 days at this point. But give her a big shout out for her 58th. Family, without getting all in her business, because that's not my story to tell, she went through a very trying time physically, medically. And maybe 2 years ago, those of us close to her were very worried and were praying and meditating and affirming heavily that she would be all right. And God is good. She's all right. The storm in that respect has passed. We always got storms, but that storm, it appears, has passed. We had a beautiful time. We want to shout out Sister Star, We want to shout out Sister Joe Carroll, Sister Vanessa. We want to shout out Brianna and Miyata and Jabari and Najee and all the family and friends that came through to show love. Family, see, one thing about those tragedies with when you're medically challenged is it shows you if you weren't clear, it will help you be clear on what's really important. What's really important, right? So if I'm on my deathbed, the last thing I'm thinking about is, damn, where's my Nikes at? If they say, IJ, you got 1 week to live, the last thing I'm thinking about is, oh, damn, where's my car keys? Has a way of reminding you what's important. And I hope the show does that too. But I want to give a shout out to my lovely, curvy, chocolatey queen who is close by watching, who's a very big supporter in her way, in different ways of me and several other people, might add. And I love her and cherish her very much. I want her to know that. I want her to know that I'm unafraid to say it publicly. I'm not just going to tell her in private in the dark. I'm going to tell the world that because I feel that. All right. That said, family, let's get to the nitty gritty, what you came here for. Tonight, we are talking about, and I want you to think of all these things we go through as superpowers. I have that thread runs all through my online empowerment books, my ebooks, this idea of superpower. Why? Because I know that many of us grew up reading comic books. Many of us watched the Marvel series in the movies, Justice League, and that resonates with us, that kind of science fiction fantasy that we could have these great superpowers, and we're looking at people like Superman, bullets can't go through them, and people that can control the weather like Storm, right? People that can have x-ray vision, can see through stuff, and we didn't realize that those are metaphors for people who are exceedingly wise, who can see through tricks, lies, and illusions. People who have toughened themselves, have gone through tragedy, have toughened their skin, and things don't penetrate them and hurt them like everybody else. They emerge stronger and more resilient. All of those things you see are metaphors and allegories for actual qualities and real human beings in your life. Some of you watching this might be one of those kind of allegories of a superhero because you have certain superpowers, right? All right. So each one of these episodes is kind of dealing with, if you want to look at it that way, a different superpower. Different thing that we embody or we have that is in us that we're not embodying, but it's in us. And if we dig and do the real, serious, challenging, but most rewarding work of self-discovery, right, and self-development, we will uncover things that we didn't even know were there, that maybe some of our wise elders, some of our friends may have, teachers and coaches and people like that may have seen, but we didn't see it. But that's why we got to do this work. Today, the superpower we're talking about is the superpower of focus, cutting distractions and mastering priorities, right? This is very, very important. I want you to think about this. How many times did you start a day and you was like, okay, today I'm going to do A, B, C. You had a whole long check. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get that done. And then 5 hours later, you said, what happened? Where'd all that time go? None of those things got done, or a few of them got done incompletely. If that's happened to you, and I know it has happened to you at some point, don't feel bad. That's happened to all of us, right? So if it sounds familiar, you're not alone. In this fast, noisy world, staying focused is perhaps one of the most difficult things you can do. You know, just in that hypothetical I gave, where did that time go? The time with you scrolling, clicking, texting, talking, sleeping, whatever you was doing that got in the way of the things you said you wanted to do. That's okay, because all that did is give me a broadcast to highlight and talk about that, how we can overcome it. We want to talk about how to cut these distractions and how to begin prioritizing, right? So in roughly the next 20 to 25 minutes, I'm going to talk about what focus is in a very simple way. I'm going to kind of outline or identify some of the biggest challenges, you might say enemies, to keeping that focus, the things that get us stuck. And I'm going to also suggest a 3-step outline or action plan for sharpening your focus, making it laser-like, and taking back control of your time, your energy, and guess what, ultimately, your life, right? So before we even get into this, let me just say that if you got 24 hours in a day, and you got 365 days in a year, and you got 52 weeks in a year, that each one of those units comes down to the second. Then it goes to the minute. Then it goes to the hour. And if you're farting those away for 20 years, guess what? That's 20 years you didn't get to tighten up that craft, build up that vocabulary, deepen and extend your network of people who are soul tribe, who ain't just here for the good time. They're going to good time with you, but they also going to correct you. They also going to point you in the way of progress and advancement. They also going to support you as you go down your journey of empowerment. That's 20 years that you wasn't doing that. So now you playing catch up. Guess what? If that's you, because guess what? I did that. I took a good 10 and was just all over the place, right? But the key is getting back wherever you are in life, whatever age you are in life, your income level, I don't care where you come from. I don't care about your race, creed, color, none of that. Wherever you are right now, if you decide, you know what, Ajay, you're right. I'm going to reclaim my time. And by doing that, you reclaim your life. I'm going to do that right now. And I'm not going to look back, even if I stumble. That's what life is about. All right. Now, when we talk about focus, what is focus? When you think of focus, what do you think of? One of the things I think of is a camera. I think of like a video camera that, you want it to be clear, your image to be clear. It may start out blurry and then it has an autofocus feature, right? And then slowly you see your image very clearly, but you need that. Imagine if you're watching this broadcast and you hear me, but the whole show, my complete face and everything is a complete blur. That would kind of be annoying, right? All right, but when we're talking about focus in this respect, we're talking about your ability to direct your attention, your energy, your time toward things that really matter without being hijacked by distractions. 2 key things: energy, time, attention, directing it towards a specific thing that's important to you without being hijacked by distractions, right? So when you're focused, what you're saying is this goal, this vision, this mission deserves nothing less than my, not 80% attention, not 75, not 32, 100% attention. Focus is not about multitasking, trying to do 2 billion things at one time. No, that's not how it works. In real life, the people that you look up to, that you read about, the successful, sold the records, has the great dance moves, sells the beautiful fashion designs, that travels the world. These people have learned that if you want to do something well, you got to focus, you got to lock in. And it's better to get one very important thing done to its completion at an excellent level than to half-ass 300 things. Just think about it, right? It's okay. You don't have to do a lot. If you just do a little bit, you get that one thing done today or 3 things done and you do it well. And it's something you're proud of. That's a big deal. And that's what focus is about. It's kind of like saying I'm going to do the right thing and I'm going to give it my all, my complete attention. It's kind of like there's a spiritual, you might say a metaphysical concept of being present. You ever heard that? Present. What does that mean? It means when you're talking to somebody, you're not looking here, you're not doing anything else. You're not, oh no, I'm listening. No, you're present means I'm giving you my full attention. This society has us really messed up. Like we doing a million. How do you focus like that? How do you get stuff done? How do you convey to people that you take them seriously? Would you be at a business meeting, right? And you're not looking at the people you're talking to? or you're appealing for money, for grant money, or you're trying to get into school, you're interviewing for a job, and no, you know that's incorrect because it would convey to the person, this person doesn't care. So it's the same thing. I'm not really telling you much you don't know. I'm trying to remind you of stuff you kind of already know and help you connect the dots. And let me quote while we're on this idea of focus, because everything I'm telling you, anybody can do. That's the beauty of this. You don't need money, a degree. You don't need to be a certain age for the most part. This is about digging deep and taking all the energy and time and thought you give other things that may not further you and putting that into the stuff that's going to advance you. A great man that I've had great respect for, named Bruce Lee, legendary martial artist, action actor, and he also wrote some things. He came up with some creative ideas as a screenwriter. He was once asked, because this dude was like 145 pounds, soaking wet, but like cut, you know what I mean? Crazy fast. He could punch you from an inch away and knock you feet. You have you stumbling for feet in just 1 inch punch, right? He mastered the art of fighting. So somebody asked him a very deep question. What do you think, Mr. Lee, makes for a successful and effective and great warrior or fighter? And without missing a beat, because you know the brother was going for a PhD in philosophy. He wasn't no lightweight. No, he wasn't just a fighter. He was a thinker. And if you watch any video, you're going to hear him dropping some jewels. He says, the successful, effective, and great warrior is an average man or woman with laser-like focus. I'm going to say that again because I like the way it sounds. Bruce Lee responded to the question, what makes a great fighter, a great warrior like you? He said, it's an average person, right? But what's super extraordinary about them is their ability to lock in. They're not looking left, right. They're not over there. They're not listening to that over. Boom. Right? I want you to think about it. That's really deep. It shouldn't intimidate you. It should be, you should feel like, wow, that's empowering. Why? Because it's telling you, you're not your speed. You don't have to be able to bench press 1,000 pounds. Right? Doesn't matter how you look. You don't have to have the greatest technique. But if you can just lock in on one thing and get one thing done and master one thing, that takes what? Focus, right? And that's not easy to do. If I'm sitting here, I'm trying to read and say I have something on this screen and there's people dancing and there's a parade going around, there's a party and there's all type. That's not easy to do, is it? Right? But that's kind of a metaphor for what our life is like. You're trying to go to school. You're trying to get this degree. You're trying to get certified to do this. You're trying to take this course. You're trying to start this business. There's going to be stuff. It's not like you're doing that in a vacuum. Life is going on. So what? You got family. You got friends. You got people around, activities going on. And you could either get caught up in all that, or you could say, I'm going to get to that. But right now, this is getting done. Right? So that's what he said is very interesting. You don't have to be great in the ways we think or have a lot, but you need to develop certain habits and certain thinking. Now, I want you to think for a minute. What's one area of your life that would be completely changed for the better if you simply gave it your all, your complete focus, your attention, your energy? For 30 straight days. Think about that. I'm gonna let that marinate. What's one area of your life that you said, man, this is not where I need it to be? But you could change it if you just locked in on one thing. What area of your life would that be? Just think about it. It's hypothetical. It's something it's kind of like a mental prompt, mental journal activity. I want you to think about that. How would you answer that? You know, if you were in a job interview and they asked you something, how would you answer that? That's very interesting because that's really what it's about. And as a matter of fact, don't feel afraid to drop that in the chat what your answer is. Or if you're watching a later recorded version, put it in the comment section. What's the area of your life that you think would transform completely if you took the next 30 days and you locked in complete focus and attention and energy on that thing, right? Now, this could be a number of things, family. We're not a rigid or simplistic broadcast. We're not coming from that angle. We understand nuance. This could be your health. This could be healing emotionally. This could be moving on a business idea. This could be doing the workout you keep putting off. This could be anything, any area of your life that you decide. And whatever that area is that you ultimately lock in on, I want you to think about this. This is a very simple idea that I think we miss, because we're always looking for these huge, grandiose things that we don't understand. The deep things is right there, right in front of you, right? What you focus on and what you pour energy into and that to which you give attention grows. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. This explains why some of us may have great relationships in this area over there with these people, and this relationship sucks because we're pouring into those things. We're starving over here. This ain't nothing. This is not rocket science, family. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's the same thing with a plant. If you had 5 plants and one plant, you made sure it always had light. You always talked sweetly and nicely to it and touched it lovingly and made sure your hands were clean before you touched it and watered it and sang to it and gave it ventilation. That plant is most certainly going to grow better, or at least exist or survive better and longer than the other plants if you don't do those things. Oh, I didn't, did I water that plant? It's been a month? I don't know. Oh, whatever. If you take that approach, then you're going to get what you gave it or failed to give it. It's amazing how we can understand some deep stuff, but it's that simple stuff. If you don't pour into it, it's not going to pour into you. It's going to literally die. How many marriages could have been saved if people got that? How many businesses could have been saved if people got that? How many organizations might still be here if people got that? You got to pour into it, right? You do your part, and nature takes its course. The farmer plants the seed. The farmer don't go every day and dig up the soil. Is it gone? The farmer knows it's a process. What do I have control of? I plant it in fertile soil, make sure it has access to sunlight, and I water it, and I go away. Don't keep checking because in doing that, you're disrupting the process. And if you do your part, harvest comes, right? So this is very, very important. Now, we talked about a lot. We talked about what focus is. We talked about some of the things that sometimes compromise our ability to understand some basic principles concerning focus. And we talked about why it's a superpower. Let's talk about the enemies of focus. Let's talk about some of the things that rob us of our focus every single day. And we all have them. I don't care how focused. I like to think I'm focused. It happens to me too, happens to everybody, right? Let's get into it, family. Number 1, digital distractions. So let's see. Numero uno. Let's be honest, family. These gadgets here are amazing. I was just telling my queen the other day, man, I remember I had a gadget that held video, then I had one that held songs, then I had a phone, and this guy, Steve Jobs, put all of that in one device. How brilliant and genius was that? However, these have become not just tools, they become traps for many of us. Some of us, you would think that somebody surgically attached the phone to us. It's like we can't go nowhere without it. It's amazing. We open Instagram. I've done it. Or TikTok. Just for 1 second, something pops up. And next thing you know, 45 minutes or longer have passed. The constant beeps, notifications, the endless videos. People call and say, oh, look at this. Did you see that? The dopamine hits that we get when we put up a video. And people like it. That's dopamine. This is real. Scientific. You get that drug that makes you feel good. You feel needed and wanted and respected and appreciated. Right? So people now going back to, how many people? Don't feel bad. That's biology. Right? Okay. So if you want your phone to be a tool rather than a trap, there's a few things you might want to consider. First, turn off a lot of those notifications. You don't necessarily need to know every time some friend of yours posted something or there's a new video on this channel. You don't need to necessarily know it, unless you're actually, that's part of the work you do, right? So turn off the non-essential notifications. You go right in your phone and do that. 2, set hours of the day or times of the day that are no screen times. I'm not looking at this. I'm not looking at that. Another thing you could do is you can actually schedule, which is related to the previous point, schedule the time that you're going to be on social media instead of letting it potentially run your life. And remember, if you don't control your devices, they will most certainly control you. Now, certainly devices can't think. So you know what I mean. They'll occupy so much of your time and thought and energy. And once again, if you're not doing anything that's related to the social media, that's a complete waste of time, family, right? Okay, so that's something to think about. Number 2, mental clutter. You ever sit down to do some work, but your brain is still thinking about the argument you just had, the bill you got to pay, the conversation that was exciting, interesting that you didn't get to finish, that fine-looking sister that you wanted to talk to, but you didn't, but she smiled at you, whatever. That's mental clutter. You're overthinking, you're mentally multitasking, and you're worrying about all these things. You're preoccupied with all these things at one time, right? Now, this is another very simple concept I'm going to share. When everything in your life is a priority, nothing in your life is a priority. Because by definition, priority means that you rank things, that some things are considered important, some things are considered unimportant. But when everything's important, nothing's important, right? So in order for you to deal with this, to develop your superpower of focus, you got to prioritize. Take time to clear your mental space, if this makes sense. One good way to do that also is to start your day, not going into your phone. Start your day with a few minutes of prayer, silent reflection, giving thanks, whatever grounds you, It's not a waste of time, family, I promise you. And it's one of the ways that successful and effective people begin their days, by grounding themselves in the things that are most important. And the people that are most important, I should say, too, right? Is how you kind of sharpen your mind before that battle of the day kind of begins. Number 3, enemy of focus is a lack of clear goals. You can't focus if you don't know what deserves your focus. Some of us aren't so much distracted as we are clueless. And clueless, I don't mean dumb. I mean, you just don't have direction. We haven't decided today, this is going to be the theme of this day for me. This is the quality I'm going to work on. This is the people I'm going to network with. This is the project we just kind of just exist, kind of take it, when they say like living from paycheck to paycheck, kind of same concept, right? So I would say set clear goals for your day, week, and month. And I would go further to say, don't leave it to your memory. Write it down. The study showed that the process of writing does something that typing on a computer and a phone doesn't do, that it etches it in your memory, that makes your subconscious mind take whatever you're writing more seriously. But if you can't do that, certainly the phone and computer, but write these things down. Don't be one of those people who's going on this word of mouth, because, we forget. I had a doctor's appointment maybe a few days ago last week that I completely forgot about. And I completely forgot about it because usually I have a process I use, and I didn't do that. So I forgot. This whole day came and said, oh my God, I got an appointment. I had to push it back and cancel it. So this is what I mean, right? And by the way, this is how you decide who and what gets your energy, your time and attention, and who and what does not. If you don't have no direction, you're not going to be able to do that. If you just live it every day, man, hey, what it is, then it really doesn't matter who takes up your time on the phone, who you play the game with, what movie you watching. But if you get up like, I'm getting this done, you're going to notice a lot of that's going to go out the window because you like, this got to get done. If you're involved with this getting done, or you're involved with let's say my downtime, the time that I said, I'm going to take this time and have a break. So yeah, you're going to call or you're going to engage with certain people who you have fun with, who you can relax with. But you're going to find that your day is going to be structured differently. You're going to get a lot more done. The fourth enemy of focus, stay with me, family. And by the way, before I get to number 4, I want to thank all of you who are watching, who have subscribed to this channel, and who are about that. Let me forget everything, everybody else. This is about me. I'm getting myself together, right? I want to thank you for making that very important commitment. You make the world better, one person at a time. And all I would ask, family, is you do something for me for free. That's really for you, too. Push that subscribe button. Help us expand our membership and expand our reach and our scope so we can get more people like you on this let me be my highest self and truest self sort of a mission and movement. Number 4, enemy of focus. You hear the term a lot, toxic environments and people. If toxic is too strong or too overused for you, we could just say negative. We could say low vibrational. We could say chronically problematic people and environments, right? Sometimes our biggest distraction isn't the phone, isn't a game. It's a person, people. I have a video here on this channel called Energy Vultures you might want to look at. These are people who constantly drain your energy, gossip, or pull you into complete and utter foolishness and nonsense. They're committing a serious crime. And it's called a felony, in fact, and it's called focus theft. They're stealing your focus and your time, right? So what do we do with this? It's funny because we were just talking about this earlier. Create healthy boundaries. It's funny. Sometimes in our attempt not to come off a certain way to other people, we actually wind up empowering other people and disempowering ourselves, right? So, there are people that I don't want to, set boundaries because, people want to think, and I don't want to be, it's not about that. It's about saying, this is what I'm for. This is what I'm not. And communicating that clearly so that you can get through your day and do the things you need to do, right? That's very important. Some people, I don't smoke. I don't do that. That's not what I do. And that you ain't got to be like cracking the whip with it, family, but you do need to set up boundaries. Or people who don't know those boundaries are going to keep violating them. They don't know that you want to go to sleep at a certain time. So they'll call you till 18 o'clock until you stop answering the phone. People start getting loud. You have a boundary. When people do that, I don't do that. You go back and forth, there's no boundary, but once you start, I'm not doing it. When you start cursing and yelling, calling each other out of name, I'm bound out of this. That's a boundary. And that's there to protect you, family. It's not there to alienate nobody or to be mean-spirited, right? And what does this do? By dealing with identifying these toxic environments of people, what does that do? Think about that. What are you doing? You see these on T-shirts. These are slogans. People say it all the time. But we're not talking about talking it. We're talking about living it. You protect your peace for real. You can't have peace if you're constantly being distracted, right? You got to at this time, not doing that, right? Protect your mission. You can't accomplish what you're here to do if people are constantly violating that, right? So family, say it with me. Protect your peace, protect your time, protect your mission. Matter of fact, if you in the chat, say in the chat, type this: my focus, my time is sacred. So that you understand, when we talk about time on this platform, this is not like on some I'm Sadiddy, I'm better than you thing, man, family. No, it's not coming from that spirit. And if you don't believe me, Believe the people who you respect. So think of any artist, any celebrity, any person that's famous that you respect, past, present, that's living or dead. And you read their biographies or autobiographies if they have them, or documentaries on them, and I guarantee you, just about every one of you going to see people say, oh, one thing about them, though, when it was time for her to do her choreography, and she wasn't, that was it. She didn't take call. He didn't do this. I'm learning about a certain athlete. I'm not going to put his name out there now, that famously never didn't do any drug, or even when he was growing up in the hood and people was giving him weed and all this stuff, that he had a boundary, like, nah, I'm not doing that. And at first he got teased, and then finally the people said, hey, don't do that, right? And he became one of our greatest boxers ever, right? So it's very important that you understand your time, your attention is sacred. Don't just throw it out there. No, take yourself seriously. Take your mission seriously. And you communicate that the best way by setting those boundaries. You got to tell everybody. You just embody it. You show it. People will start to say, oh, when they doing that, I think we should let them do that. And they'll get at us when they can. I want to kind of look at, I promised a 3-step actionable plan. I try to give actionables, things that we get into the theory, kind of the philosophy of stuff, that we try to get into things we can do to bring it from heaven to earth, so to speak. Prioritize your purpose before you start the day. I want you to get into the habit, really, family. Put yourself, like, what's the one thing that moves me closer to my purpose or my top goal or objective today? That becomes your compass. That becomes, because what? Going throughout your day and you're doing something, you got to ask, what? Is this part of what I said? Now, it may not be. It may be your break time. That's different. But this gives you ability to see, are you remaining close to what you said you were trying to do for that day? Focus is impossible, as I said it before. If you have no direction, there's a famous saying, if you don't know where you're going, you will always get there. Boom. Did y'all catch that? If you don't know where you're going, you'll always get there, right? So write that one priority down. Put it in your phone. Record it. Say it to yourself as affirmation. This is what I'm going to do today. This is my priority. And that, it may not be a one thing, it may be an umbrella of a few things, right? So you might say, today I'm going to organize my office space. And that may involve more than one thing, but it's that general goal, right? That's what we're talking about. And I would suggest make it visible. Put it on your wall, put it in your phone, write it in your journal. That's your target. And your goal now is to keep hitting that target throughout the day, so that at the end of the day, when hopefully you have time where you reflect, maybe before bed, or you write in your journal, one of the things you could write is, I did actually finish what I said I was going to do today. And you have no idea the feeling that gives you when you do that. It makes you want to celebrate. You feel good. And the more that you have days like that, you know what happens? Something we're going to get into in a future broadcast. Your confidence comes, right? Not self-esteem. Self-esteem is how you kind of feel about yourself. Confidence is you knowing, proud of yourself because you know that you can do things. You have certain skills, certain knowledge. So it's kind of tied into things you know you can do. So the more you win, the more you keep your word to yourself. Notice this is all self. We're not talking about what you said. Keep your word to yourself. People who can't keep words to themselves definitely can't keep it with you. Hello? So the more you keep your word to yourself and win, the confidence grows. And the more that confidence grows, you're going to find your resilience grows. You're going to take risks, good calculated risks. You're not going to live in fear. This is very important, right? All these things are interconnected. Step 2, design your environment to make it conducive to focus. I like to say, set yourself up to succeed or to win. So the environment you're in, it can either kind of sharpen your focus or sabotage and blur it more. How can you do this? Declutter your space. So the queen does, I know she does this, I do it. You know, we have our different little rituals. I got something here on the floor, I make sure we pick it up. We got dishes, we take it in the kitchen, we wash them. These little things. Notice none of this stuff is great, grandiose. Little things you do every day. Declutter your space. You find out you got you need to wash that office desk, clean that desk off. Got a few cups of glasses you need to take in the kitchen, take them in the kitchen. You need to kind of rearrange some things, make more room, or get that shade up, get some of that beautiful sunlight in. Do those things. A messy environment can sometimes get in the way of you being able to concentrate and focus, right? Because what happens? You think about, oh God, this is so messy, I can't find nothing. And now you're beating yourself up. And now instead of doing the work you're supposed to do there, you're really kind of playing over and over again why you should have cleaned this desk, right? Another thing is silence your distractions. Identify them and sabotage them. So turn on your do not disturb on your phone. Listen, the queen in here made a do not disturb sign. I didn't use it tonight, but it's a sign I can put on the other side of the door that says, we're doing a broadcast, or we sleep, or we're having an important conversation, right? Okay? You can use time blocks. Now, some people use the Pomodoro method. That's kind of like you do 25 minutes of straight work, straight focus, nothing else is going on. You doing that for 25 minutes. You take 5-minute breaks. For some people, that's a game changer. It doesn't work for me. I like longer times, but whatever you do. And then you may get to a point where you don't need to do that. You could just knock it out, whatever you're doing. Now, a lot of people, when they hear that, they say, oh man, 25 minutes of work? That's not going to work. Because again, they may be thinking everything that's good and wholesome that advances has to be this huge deal. And I keep telling you, it's the opposite. It's the little things. So think about this. We started off the broadcast saying, did you ever say you're going to do 5 things, all these things in a day, and then 5 hours went by, you did none of them? Get it? What if you would have done 25 minutes or 50 minutes every hour and had a 10-minute break? Imagine all the stuff you would have got done. And you would have had time to break and chill. So this is what we're talking about. Use time blocks. Block out time and say, this is what I'm doing this time. What happens often is we sabotage it because we start out doing something. And you know how the world is, family. The world don't wait. Don't wait just because we doing something. Stuff comes up. So people come, oh, I got a problem. Or this comes up, this comes up. Next thing you know, you're doing 20 different things. During that 25-minute block, you don't get nothing done, right? So it's very hard. It's very important that you communicate if you have other people in the home with you or wherever you are in your organization, in the organizational space, that you communicate to those people. Oh, but just so you know, for the next 25 minutes, I'm trying to really get this done. So I'd appreciate it if anything, unless it's an emergency, if you can hold it to after that time. That's fair. And what is that doing? Creating a boundary. And it's also setting and communicating an expectation. These are all things we must do as mature adults if we want to progress. And it also models for other people things, tools they can use, right? So it's the same thing. You got a child in school. They may say, Mom, Dad, I noticed that y'all watch this show and y'all laughing really loud, and that's cool, but I got this big paper to do. And I'm trying to, and it's going to be funny because it's like role reversal, right? They're going to be like, if you like for the next hour, I really need to focus. And they're kind of letting you know in a humble, respectful way, Mom or Dad, I need some quiet here. And that's cool. If you want them to do well and you know what works for you, you're going to giggle a little bit. Oh, ain't this something? Role reversal. But you're going to love it and support that, right? You also want to, and this is a biggie. This is a biggie. This is one that I don't think I got really good at until the last 10 to 12 years of my life. Surround yourself with people who also are focused. Now, I didn't say they got to be focused on what you're focused on. We're not trying to be dictators and, that type of thing, totalitarian with it, family. We understand we live and let live. As long as you not, what you doing is not messing with me and mine, we all right. So somebody else may be focused on fixing the car. That's what they do. Somebody else is focused on doing comedy. Someone else is focused on they're studying for school. This one's starting a business, right? You're doing interior design. This one's whatever. But the importance of this, and again, this is not about you being restricting, you're being mean. You say, yo, I'm trying to get things done in my life. I won't have it forever, at least not to my knowledge. So I want to make sure I make the most out of it while I'm here. Because one day I won't be here. So to do that, you got to put certain things in place, right? And what you're going to find is that when you roll with people who get that, you ain't got to do a whole college dissertation to help them understand why it's important you have some quiet, why it's important, right? Why it's important that we do things in a timely fashion, why it's important. People get that because they're on that track. They get it because they're trying to do something. So they know, yeah, I get that. I understand. No problem. That's important. Surround yourself with like-valued and like-minded people. And by this, I mean just people who trying to live life to the fullest, be their highest self. People do that in a variety of ways. I'm not going to get into every single way, but I think you'll know what I mean. Positive people, who are not going to get defensive when you tell them something simple like, I need you to quiet down. We got to do some things here, right? Okay. When you walk into your workspace, your home, your organizational meeting space, your classroom, it should feel like a place of clarity. It should feel like this is a place that's going to help empower me. It should feel like this is a place that I resonate with, right? That's important to the degree that you can. Step 3 is the mental discipline. Ooh, I like this part here, family. Focus is like a muscle. You got to train it. You got to keep doing things to exercise it and develop it. You don't stop. You don't say, oh, I got good focus, I'm good, right? So you're not going to build your six-pack, your abs, by doing one sit-up. You're not going to build focus with one productive day. Here's another trap. We do something new that's good for us, and we do it once or 8 times or 7 times, and we're like, we like how it feels. We might get good. People see it. Oh, they praise you, so you feeling high. And you stop. It's a daily commitment. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to hear me say it all the time. It separates the champs from the chumps. I'm going to tell you, family. Study the champs. And I mean now literal champs. Boxing, sports. You'll see it. Music. Scholars. You'll see it. What other people do every now and then, that's good. They do every day, family. It's part of their lifestyle because they understand that's how I build my craft, right? So this is very important. And there's 3 things you can do in terms of this building this mental discipline. Understand and practice mindfulness or meditation. Take some minutes, 5-10 minutes a day or different parts of the day. Deep breathing, box breathing. This is what it looks like. Breathe in through my nose to the count of 4. Hold it for 4 counts. Exhale for 4 counts through the mouth. So inhale through the nose for 4 counts. Hold it for 4 counts. Exhale for 4 counts through the mouth. I had an actual doctor in the ER tell me, actually show me. That's where I first heard about it. Then I looked it up and made it part of my devotional. But he said that will always, surefire, scientifically proven, lower your blood pressure and your heart rate and calm you down. So if that's what you're doing when you're meditating, guess what it does? It's the same thing. If that's what you're doing when you're having a panic attack, guess what it does? It's doing the same thing. If that's what you do when you're mad and you're ready to blow, it's going to calm you down and do the same thing. So this is something you can use in any one of those examples. You're upset, you're panicked. You need to calm down. You want to go to sleep, or you just want to focus. Right? They call that box breathing. 4 counts. Inhale through the nose, hold it for 4, exhale through the mouth. Also, I'm big on journaling. I'm big on journaling. A part of that is because I'm a poet and a writer and a teacher. But it's also because I just know that it's a very effective way to chronicle your thoughts and your feelings, and to give you this body of work. Now you can go back, you can see how you have grown, because you can go back this month, you can flip through them pages, you can go back 5 months ago, what you was writing, and you'll notice there was a lot of bitterness, a lot of anger there, a lot of blaming other people there. And now when I look at this stuff, I'm noticing it's a lot more introspective and reflective, and more like, I could have done that, but I didn't see it because this is what I was thinking, right? And so it's a really good tool, family. I would say get a journal, and you know how the capitalists, man, they come up with all types of stuff to get our money. You can get the fancy $800 journal book if you want. I would say you don't need nothing fancy, family. You just need something to write in. And you mark it, whatever journal you want. You can have more than one, or you can have one big one that you section off, and you write in it. And again, remember that I said that action of writing does something that the typing doesn't do, right? The writing is very important. And some people do journal in the morning, upon waking, and at night before going to sleep. But whenever and however you do it, get into it, and you're going to find that you're going to be journaling your distractions. You're going to write down in that day, what were the things that were distracting you? These are things people typically skip because, that's not important. It is important, because this is how you get the nudge of, your thing is the games. Your thing is following all the videos on social media. Your thing is the snacks. You start thinking, now you snacking, right? Everybody has different distractions, but you need to know what's your distraction, what throws you off. And once you know that, you can be attentive to and develop ways to address it. And then the third thing I would say is to reframe your language. Replace things like I have to with I choose to. It seems simple, but it kind of transforms a statement of obligation to a statement of empowerment. I'm not doing this wearily because there's a gun to my head. I'm doing this because I understand and I'm committed to achieving something. Maybe breaking a generational curse, family. Maybe leaving something for our kids, family. Maybe getting my health right, family. I'm not doing, you got to twist my arm to eat right now. I'm doing this because I want to be right. Want my skin looking good and glowing, my teeth looking good. I want to be able to walk up steps and take a run and without passing out. And I want to live a long, productive life. So make sure that you remember why you're doing things and that you don't make this a chore. Because if you frame it that way, it will be that way in real life. The power of the word. And when you do these things, you're rewiring your brain. We got a video on the channel called epigenetics. It's a whole nother thing. But it talks about how you can rewire your brain, the way it works and all that, right? Discipline is the foundation for freedom. So, theory to action. Grab your journal when you're done. Open your notes app on your phone. Got 2 quick reflection questions I want you to dig into. Number 1, what's one thing you're going to remove from your life this week to protect your focus, to develop your focus, a habit that's distractive, right? This could be a habit, a person, a website, whatever it is, whatever you define. Number 2, what's your top priority for the next 7 days? What's that one thing you're going to give at least 90 minutes, that's only an hour and a half, family, of undivided attention to every day for the next 7 days? Define that and work on that. And I'd be interested to know how that worked for you. Did you notice any difference? Were you getting more things done? Were you less distracted? Were you less frustrated because you wasn't accomplishing things? Right? Let me know. Drop the answers in the chat. Write them down. Put them in the comments. But most importantly, commit to yourself. This is not about me. Commit to yourself. The champs make commitments to themselves that they do not break for anybody. And that's what separates them and distinguishes them as champs, right? So here's your empowerment challenge, family. Next 7 days, 90 minutes distraction-free time every day. One block of time, 90 minutes, one goal, one focus. During that time, phone on silent. No social media. No multitasking. Just you and your mission. Then at the end of the week, I really want to hear how it felt, and you'll be amazed. I'm telling you, family, I can already tell you. Well, anyway, family, I want to leave you with this. Focus is a superpower. I want to thank you for being with us. I think we went a little bit over time today. I apologize for that. I'm going to try to keep these at 30 minutes. Just got a little excited. Please forgive me. But I hope you got real value. The point of this is we're not here flapping jaws and just a bunch of feel good. This is to make us be good, to be better. It's very important because when you're better, your whole world changes. When you feeling right, when your mind is right, when you feel like I'm doing what I'm here to do, you're not chasing behind some foolishness. You're not letting people drag you into some craziness, and you're getting stuff done. The whole world changes for you. And that's what I want people to experience and feel. By the way, if you need a coach, I'm here. All that information is right here in the description section. And make sure you get that free book, family. 10 questions that will transform your life. You will not be sorry. Thank you so much for being with me. WUCUSU Lounge. It's very good if we spend our time with foolishness that doesn't advance us. We can spend our time with stuff that builds us up. Peace and blessings. Thank you.